No, hang on. Timeout. You can now put people in timeout. Ooh, fun. Okay, you're live. Hi.
Hi, this is Erica with Glover Nursery, and we are going to talk about one of the things you should do in the fall, which is cleaning your garden tools before you put them away for the winter. Um, Again, I'm Erica. I am the IPM manager and grower here at Glover Nursery. I've been doing this about a decade. I do a lot of different things here at the nursery. And today we're going to go through some pretty basic steps that you can follow in order to clean your garden tools. And if you stay with me till the end, I'm going to talk about a garden tool that you didn't know needs any maintenance. Okay, so the very first step would be to remove any solid debris or rust that might be on your garden tools. And this would be like if you had used them when things were muddy or sappy, or if you have any other kinds of buildup on this pair of loppers right here, which are anvil loppers rather than bypass loppers. Regan and I can do a different video about that, but it has this little plate right here where this blade pushes against this plate. And on this pair of loppers, I have some buildup in here from having cut dead wood, dead branches, and other things off of trees this summer. So I would take a wire brush first and foremost, and depending on whether or not you have a vise at home or just a table or something you can lay them on, or however you can get the best sort of leverage, just take your wire brush and clean those surfaces. You can clean the sides of the blades like this, sides of the plates like this, or your other guards if you have a bypass pair of loppers or pruners. This is also the step in which you would remove any built up rust. So if you have rust on any of your blades, there are a few different things you can do to remove the rust, but a really popular one, safe one, is just household white vinegar. And you can soak it, even if you want to mix the vinegar with a little baking soda. And you just set your garden tool in there for a little bit and then use the wire brush to try and remove some of that rust. So you can also use pressurized air. So if you have an air compressor at home, you could get the air compressor, flip it on, and blow the dust out of like hinges and other places on your garden tools if you have any of that. And then basic soap and water, just like dish soap and water does amazing things for breaking down sticky sap and caked on mud. So after the first step, which is just removing the solid debris and rust on your tools, then you would disinfect. And disinfecting would look like taking a solution of water and bleach. It's usually a 10% solution. So that would be like 1 part bleach to 9 parts water. Be careful not to wear clothes that you care about if you're going to be spraying bleach. You can also use other disinfectants, like isopropyl alcohol is one way that you can disinfect, and hydrogen peroxide. Sometimes Lysol wipes, also some kind of antibacterial wipe, but sometimes those can leave a teeny bit of a sticky residue. So if you do that, just make sure that you're always cleaning them up afterward as well, giving them a good wipe down after they've been disinfected. And if you are spraying them with anything that is going to get them wet, or like if in the previous step you were using soap and water to wash your blades, you definitely need to dry them thoroughly. So get out some paper towels and try and get them into the little nooks and crannies on your tools and dry them up as well as you can. You can also get like a blow dryer or a heat gun or something to that effect if that is easier for you. And then after that, you would want to sharpen your blades. And sharpening, most of these blades are going to have some kind of beveled edge. Like this is a bypass pair of pruners, and this blade right here has a beveled edge, an angled edge that helps keep it sharp right here. And this is my sharpener, and I absolutely love this one. It's the best one I've ever used. So this stone or any other that you have, you would then sharpen your blades after you have disinfected them. And then with the sharpening, you want to make sure that you're not leaving any sorts of burrs or any sorts of nicks in the blade, you know, like maybe you were cutting a particularly hard piece of wood, or maybe you were using your tools in a questionable manner and you cut a rock. Sometimes that'll leave a big nick in a blade, and it can change how well that blade cuts. So you would want to do your best to try and even out that nick as you're going through and sharpening. And then once you've sharpened all of your blades, you would want to oil your tools. There are lots of different kinds of oils that are available, but there's a really common one that's used on pruners like this called 3-in-1. You can use a lot of different kinds of mineral oils, but what that does is it keeps your hinges working well, keeping them lubricated. It also prevents buildup of rust and other materials from sticking to the blade. And then if you happen to have any tools that have like a wooden handle, you know, something like these hedge trimmers right here that have a wood piece right here, you can use an oil here on the wood to keep it from cracking or becoming aged and fading. So oil is super important. And then when you get ready to store your tools, actually much like we have right here, you want to make sure that the metal parts are not touching the ground in case there's any moisture where the blades, where the metal parts are in contact with the ground. So if you have them hanging in a garage, you would always want to make sure that your metal tips are up so that you don't have any issues with the metal. Oh, and it also dulls them. So you just took a lot of time to sharpen your blades. If you set them on concrete or another hard surface, you could already be dulling a blade that you just worked on. So now that we're coming to the end of the video, I'm going to talk to you about a tool that you didn't know needs maintenance. And that would be shovels. Shovels can be sharpened, and the shovels should be cleaned and sharpened. If you are out in your yard and you're digging with a shovel like this and you leave a bunch of caked on mud, all of that makes this shovel thick and uneven, and it's harder for you to force it into the ground. It makes it harder labor if your shovel is not in good condition. And if you are sharpening this edge of the shovel, it's just like a knife through butter. It makes digging the holes easier. Now, of course, you probably don't need this to be as sharp as your pruner blades, but you also don't want this edge to be so thick that it's flat and you're trying to force a flat edge into the soil. So keep maintaining your shovels too. It will make your labor easier. So I think that was about it. That's all I wanted to cover today. Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah, thank you for joining us.
Good job.